Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because the Los Angeles Rams are not just tweaking the roster, they are trying to detonate the entire NFL landscape. We are talking about a franchise that refuses to settle for mediocrity. Sources are buzzing, phones are ringing, and the decisions being made inside that front office right now are going to define the next 5 years of this organization. We have a major coaching hire to fix a broken unit, a defensive crisis brewing in the secondary that could cripple the scheme, and a trade rumor so explosive it could shatter the NFC West. You need to hear this immediately, because the Rams are officially on the warpath.
Let's get right down to business with the confirmed news that dropped yesterday, February 23rd, because this is a massive shift in philosophy for Los Angeles. The Rams have officially announced the hiring of Bubba Ventrone as the new special teams coordinator. This is a done deal. He is coming in to replace Chase Blackburn. And let me be very clear about something. This move was not just necessary, it was critical for the survival of this team's competitive edge. When you look at what happened last season, the special teams unit was not just bad, it was a liability. It was an absolute disaster that cost this team field position, momentum, and frankly, confidence. You cannot win in the National Football League when your third phase of the game is bleeding yards and making mistakes. Adam Schefter would tell you the facts. Ventrone is highly respected, formerly with the Browns and Colts, and brings a level of discipline that has been sorely lacking. But I am going to tell you the reality of the situation. This is Sean McVay looking in the mirror and admitting that what they had was not working. Bubba Ventrone is not just a coach, he is a former player who played with his hair on fire, a guy who understands the grit and the violence required to cover kicks in this league. He was a special teams ace himself, and that matters. Players respect guys who have been in the trenches. The Rams looked at the film, they saw the missed assignments, they saw the lack of energy, and they said enough is enough. Blackburn is out, and Ventrone is in to bring the hammer. This is about accountability. You look at the best teams in the league, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, they do not lose games because of special teams blunders. The Rams were flirting with disaster way too often. Ventrone brings an intensity that is going to shock some of these players. He demands perfection in the details, from lane integrity on punt coverage to the blocking schemes on returns. This is an aggressive hire that signals the Rams are tired of losing the hidden yardage battle. They are bringing in a guy who is going to scream, yell, and demand excellence every single time the ball is kicked. It is a culture shock that was desperately needed in that locker room. But here is the problem, and catch my drift on this. You can fix the kicking game, you can fix the coverage units, and you can bring in all the fire and passion in the world, but none of it matters if your actual defense cannot stop a nosebleed. While the front office is high-fiving over this hire, there is a massive storm cloud gathering over the secondary that nobody is talking about enough. And if this next situation isn't resolved, Bubba Ventrone's special teams won't even get a chance to take the field because the defense will be too busy giving up touchdowns.
If you want to keep getting exclusive insights like this and stay ahead of every single move the Rams make this offseason, you need to subscribe right now. Don't be the last to know. Join the community today. This brings me to a situation that has me genuinely concerned for the Los Angeles defense. We are hearing legitimate rumblings that cornerback Roger McCreary is at serious risk of leaving in free agency. Let's look at the facts here. McCreary has developed into a legitimate piece of this defensive puzzle. In a league that is dominated by passing offenses, where you have to stop the Justin Jeffersons and the CeeDee Lambs of the world, losing a starting caliber cornerback is not just a loss, it is a catastrophe. The Rams have relied on his versatility, his ability to play inside and outside, and his willingness to tackle in the run game. He has become a staple of what they try to do on Sundays. But here is the cold, hard truth about the NFL. It is a business first and a game second. The market for cornerbacks is exploding. Teams with cap space are desperate for coverage help, and McCreary has put enough on tape to demand a paycheck that the Rams might not be willing or able to match. If he walks out that door, you are looking at a gaping hole in the secondary that you cannot just plug with a rookie or a veteran minimum guy. You cannot replace experience overnight. I am looking at Les Snead and I am asking, what is the plan here? You cannot let talent walk out of the building when your window to win is right now. If McCreary hits the open market, he is gone. There are too many teams with deep pockets who will overpay for a corner who is entering his prime. And if the Rams lose him, the pressure on the pass rush becomes insurmountable. You need guys who can cover for 3 or 4 seconds. McCreary gave you that. Without him, you are exposing your safeties, you are exposing your linebackers, and you are asking to get torched. This is a red alert for the defense. The negotiation table is where championships are lost, and right now, the Rams are playing a dangerous game of chicken with a player they arguably cannot afford to lose. The fans should be worried. The coaching staff should be worried, because if you strip away the talent in the secondary, it doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator is, you are going to get cooked. However, while the defense is trying to stop the bleeding and figure out who is staying and who is going, the offensive side of the ball is apparently looking at the calendar, specifically 2026, and plotting a move so aggressive, so audacious, and so undeniably massive that it would make every other transaction this offseason look like child's play. You think losing a corner is big news? Wait until you hear the name they are targeting to revolutionize this offense.
Hold on to your seats because this is the kind of news that stops the presses. We are receiving reports that the Los Angeles Rams are considering an aggressive, all-in pursuit of Philadelphia Eagles superstar wide receiver A.J. Brown as part of their 2026 strategic planning. Now, I know what you were thinking. 2026 seems far away, but in the NFL, the future is now. This is the Los Angeles Rams we are talking about, the team that famously said, F them picks, the team that traded for Matthew Stafford, the team that traded for Jalen Ramsey. They do not care about conventional wisdom. They care about stars. A.J. Brown is not just a receiver. He is a force of nature. He is a physical specimen who dominates at the catch point, runs over defensive backs like they are children, and changes the geometry of the entire field. Can you imagine A.J. Brown in a Sean McVay offense? It is borderline unfair. It is illegal in 48 states. The thought process here is clear. The Rams want to maximize the potential of their attack to a level we have never seen before. They are looking at the landscape of the NFC and realizing that to beat the heavyweights, you need firepower that is overwhelming. A.J. Brown brings an attitude, a swagger, and a production level that is top-tier elite. This isn't just a rumor. This is a statement of intent. The Rams are signaling that they are always big game hunting. They are looking at A.J. Brown and seeing the missing link to a dynasty. Of course, the cost would be astronomical. You are talking about draft picks, you are talking about cap space gymnastics, you are talking about a blockbuster trade that would shake the foundations of the league. But since when has the price tag ever scared Les Snead? Since when has fear ever dictated how this franchise operates? They swing for the fences every single time. And if they pull this off, if they actually manage to land A.J. Brown, we are not talking about just making the playoffs. We are talking about an offense that could score 40 points a game in their sleep. This is the domino effect. You fix the special teams with Ventrone, you figure out the defense with McCrary, and then you drop a nuclear bomb on the league by acquiring A.J. Brown. It is bold, it is risky, and it is exactly why the Rams are the most fascinating team in sports. But here is the question that haunts me, the question that every single fan needs to ask themselves right now as we look at this potential super team.
We are standing on the precipice of a defining era for the Los Angeles Rams. They are fixing the foundation with Bubba Ventrone, battling to keep their defensive identity with Roger McCreary, and dreaming of offensive dominance with A.J. Brown. This is not just an offseason. This is a declaration of war on the rest of the NFL. But I have to ask you, is this aggressive strategy sustainable, or are they flying too close to the sun? I want to hear from you in the comments right now. Should they pay McCreary or save the money for a superstar like Brown? Let your voice be heard, Rams House. We are in this together, and I will see you next time.